To study sociological and cultural perspectives, I interviewed a business owner, Kevin Liu, who moved from Taiwan at a young age. I interviewed him in his newest restaurant location, Rice Fun, in Conover. The interview took place during the transition between morning and evening shifts, and though there are few customers around, please pardon the background audio because it can be quite distracting. So, this is Evan Foster with Kevin Liu. I am here on the 23rd of July. It's the 23rd, right? 23rd of July at around 4 p.m. We are in Rice Fun in Conover. And I'm just going to ask Kevin a few questions about sort of just the cultural transition between Taiwan and America, and just some different things like that. So, when did you first move to the United States, and why did you choose to do that?
It was 1990. My mom was saying it's like to getting better life. So that's why I came, and I was in the seventh grade.
Seventh grade.
Yep. So
Wow.
it was a good start. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was so early.
Yeah, I did.
And how many people from your immediate family moved with you? Was it
Just
everybody?
me? No, I mean just like my mom. Actually, my mom, my dad, me, and my sister.
Oh, okay.
And I still had a brother at that time. Was in Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you plan to stay as long as you have been here now?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yes. Actually, I never thought about to move it back to Taiwan.
Really?
Yeah. Because at that time, I mean, when I was little over there, I had the asthma, and so that thing was just like always bother me for that. And over here, I don't have that symptom over here. So really, I guess I was belong to here. I mean, in over there, when we between class to class, we always have like 10 minutes break.
Okay.
So that 10 minutes break, everybody can play in the friends on that. Not like over here, you only got like what?
Yeah. 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, 2 3 minutes.
Yeah.
To change the class. But over there, it's not. I mean, it's all in the same classroom, but between the class to class, you still had like 10 minutes break, so everybody can play on that. But for me, I couldn't do anything. I just because I couldn't run, I couldn't jogging or anything like that. So I had to stay on my desk.
Yeah.
So I really don't have much to friend with it.
Yeah.
So
Kevin found socialization in Taiwan, which is the process people learn the values and norms of a society, to be difficult due to his asthma as a child. He comments that maybe he just belonged here, and here being the United States, because his asthma symptoms subsided after moving. He never really commented on his socialization with other children after moving to the United States, but in terms of American, in quotes, Kevin is more American than most. From his mannerisms, jokes, and general air of conversational cues, Kevin has always been more than adept. He's been an American longer than I have, to be fair. Kevin's learned most of what Taiwanese culture is through his parents, who lived in Taiwan from their birth until raising children and moving to the United States. Did you find any difficulties like with the culture? And if you did, what were they? Like anything that was just different about being in Taiwan every day versus being in the United States every day?
for me, I really don't thought about that because I live in city when I was in Taiwan, and so our house was like in like a condo, so it's like a 5-story condo, but we were on the level 4. So if I'm not in school, most of the time I was in home. Over here, I got open, like a more open space, so I can go anywhere. I mean, I want to, but over there, I pretty much just lock into the house. Really not gonna be much to do. The only thing different was transportation. Over there, we had to walk a lot. We walk a lot to place, or maybe we ride the bus on that. About like 5 years after I came to the United States, the place I was in, they had a metro system. So what it is a subway type thing. So it's much more easier for them, and that was impressed me because I went back to Taiwan probably about like 10 years ago, and that's the first time I ride it with the metro system.
Really?
And then that was really, it really showing up the time.
Yeah.
But over here, I drive all the time, so I mean that was a lot different. And over there, I don't driving, so I was only like walking.
Okay.
I mean, either walking or ride the metro.
From the way Kevin briefly describes his years in Taiwan, he talks of how bustling the world was when he lived in Taipei, the capital city. There was little space because so many residents lived in close proximity to one another to maximize the efficiency of space. He also talks about the transit systems in Taiwan versus the freedom to drive in most places in the US. For a child, transitioning from country to country can have its difficulties, but for Kevin, it seemed almost natural. Though this may be a stretch, conflict perspective comes to mind in that Kevin's parents wanted to have a better life and ended up contributing a great deal to his communities after opening his restaurant. He served food, donated generously to organizations, and was even able to provide for me as an employee when I was unable to walk for a period of time.
The transportation, that's one thing. The culture, the eating form is different. Over there, it's all about like street food.
Really?
Yeah, so they had like a little like food stand out there. But over here, really you don't see that until you just go to the fair or some like particular spot. Yeah, but over here, I mean, just really don't. But honestly, for me, like when I went back to Taiwan like 10 years ago or like that, I don't eat those stuff because for me it's not sanitary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I rather eat in the restaurant. But they still, the one thing is like you go anywhere, I mean they always have something to eat.
Yeah, you actually answered like 3 questions with that. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good. No, that's great.
That's awesome.
And your mom chose the U.S. just because
because
she know people? Or?
My relatives were here.
Okay.
My uncle, they were here. So my mom came over here probably about 3 years before when we were starting moving, and just to see like how everything will go. And then my dad will come.
Yeah.
And then after that, my mom went back, stayed with us about like a year, actually less than a year. And then it would like bring us back in to the U.S. Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way Kevin continues to speak about his transition from country to country, it highlights that, perhaps as a child in the 7th grade, Kevin was willing to adapt to new scenarios. Cultural universals played a key role in his transitions, in that, though people looked different, there were still people. Families were still families who ate together and socialized together, and Kevin experienced all of these things after moving, which aided in the softness of his transition.
In my memory, I thought our street in front of our house was pretty big. Mm-hmm. Guess what? When I go back, I only noticed that. I mean, you only can have one car pass.
Wow.
I didn't realize. I mean, which is how narrow they are.
Yeah.
And so I mean, they were just like insane. I mean, I said, I couldn't stay.
Yeah.
Because I still went back there to see it. Mm-hmm. But I don't live over there. But I just go back to see it on that.
Yeah.
And I say, really, is that much? Is that like our street when I was little over there? And because I knew, I mean, I know it's big. I mean, it's very wide. But I don't know, somehow, when I go back, I say, oh, geez, it was so small. And then if there was 2 car pass, one car has to stop and then make cross for that. So it's only like a 1 lane road for that. I say, geez, no, I'm not. That's not the place I live in.
The experience of interviewing someone I've known over half of my life was not only eye-opening, but also caused a bit of reflection in my day-to-day. Ethnocentrism, or evaluating and judging another culture based on how it compares to one's own cultural norms, is nearly void in the way Kevin thinks of Taiwan as compared to the United States. Some parts of the U.S. value their cultural heritage so much they put it on a pedestal to reign above other cultures, but for Kevin, he just likes the U.S. better despite having ancestral ties to Taiwan. It caused me to appreciate not only my own culture, but to take a look at other cultures without any lens or presuppositions as to how they should be.
So you're not asking about like what I do with the business or anything like that. That's
It's
something
not.
that people
It's not
would do.
specifically. It's a sociology class, so it's not specifically about rice fund. It's about you coming
Then
from.
I cannot talk to you
Yeah.
then.